Wait, this is about making money?
I would say identifying a career path on Mondays.
Okay, I'll have a fun story to start this off. I currently have $200 in my bank account, and I owe some of my friends $800.
Whoa.
So I don't know if I'm the best to give money advice.
No, let me tell you.
But there's a lot more coming down the road. This is going to be a good story moving forward.
Yeah. Let's go. Happy Monday, guys. If you're watching this, it's probably a Monday. It's probably you trying to learn how you can make some money. That's why you're here. Welcome to the first rendition of what I want to call Money Marre Mondays. That's why you're here. Welcome to the first rendition of what I want to call Money Marre Mondays.
Dude, just lick this thing.
Okay. It's further though. It's further. This is my good friend, Colby Martel. In good Money Marre fashion, I want to use Mondays to expose, people like us, entrepreneurs, students, people who want to leave students and be like actual entrepreneurs and wealth building people. We kind of fancy things like this where we can go to places where we can learn new things. So we bring people like Colby, who've learned a lot, who've done a lot, and people like me, who are also on two different tangents but share like a similar experience. And here we are in the same place, trying to do the same thing in a different way. There's a lot of money to be made, but how will you do it? It might not be school, it might not be work. Maybe, I don't know, a 100-minute documentary further.
Wait, give me this real quick. Wait, this is about making money?
I would say identifying a career path on Mondays.
Okay, I'll have a fun story to start this off. I currently have $200 in my bank account, and I owe some of my friends $800.
Whoa.
So I don't know if I'm the best to give money advice.
No, let me tell you.
But there's a lot more coming down the road. This is going to be a good story moving forward.
Yeah, save this.
But it's definitely financially irresponsible for the time being.
So we're talking about investments, or are we talking about taking risks? Because I'm also broke. I have a job offer. I haven't started the job yet. I think people are very misconstrued by being a college student. We don't make money. It's very raw. It's very rough. I checked my workday this morning, which, it's just like a financial aid portal. It said $14,000. I thought I paid that. So I don't have any money either. I owe the school now, I guess. So now we're going to figure out how we can make money. Let's do it. Okay. So, like I said, I'm here with Colby Martel. If you've ever heard of Colby Martel, maybe you should try to ask any student, do they sleep? Go to any Ivy League school and ask them, do they go to sleep? And I'm going to be like, that Colby guy. This is that Colby guy. He's a very good guy, a very good friend of mine. So, Colby, tell me about yourself. How old are you? Where do you go to school at? Where did you go to school? Why did you make 100 documentary further? And why did you stop running further? If it was all further, why are we here? Why did you stop running? And where are you now, Colby?
I am 22 years old. I go to Babson College, and I used to go to school in Nashua, New Hampshire for high school. I was on the cross country and track team. What he was referencing is I made a documentary for my team because I got injured, so I couldn't compete at the level I wanted to. So I was like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna record it all and just be the cameraman. And I was barely in the documentary, unfortunately, but I did interviews, and that was really the start of what I'm doing now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved making videos, but that was different level.
What was the first video you ever made?
I wish I had the actual video. I don't recall what the first one was, but I used to do videos with my siblings. I have two sisters also in college, and I would just write scripts for them and put short films with them and their friends, and then also me and my friends.
When was this?
When I was in elementary school. Yeah.
Oh, so you started early.
Yeah. I know. I always tell people I started YouTube 2 years ago, but it's really been 15.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel the same way in that, people are like, oh, when did you realize, you were smart, you could go to a good school? I don't know, early. When I was in elementary, I did a spelling bee, and I won. I won the classroom spelling bee, and then I won the school whole spelling bee, and then I won a district championship, and I was a third grader at the time, competing against middle schoolers. So I was like, I have a good memory. Then I did rhetorical contests, and I was like, oh, I can speak. But then the speaking kind of got me in trouble in class a lot. You ever grew up in class and teachers are like, nah, you're talking too much, get in the corner. Yeah, that was me. So I think growing up and exploring things early is important. So I would say for you, like, in terms of identifying what you wanted to do, how important was it to, like, try things early, you know?
Very important, and I'm so grateful for my parents for pushing me, because I was very, very shy as a very shy as a child. My grandparents are still like, cannot believe what they're seeing on YouTube right now, and my cousins are just like, I didn't even know you talked.
Wow.
Like, I just went to a wedding and they're like, is this actually you in these videos? Like, what's going on? And yeah, so I just was super shy. I would hide behind my mom at all these parties, and then she would force me to sign up for things. Like, in 4th grade, she made me sign up for football, and I did not want to do it.
What position did you play?
At first I was a lineman. I was like,
Colby being a lineman.
I was left guard, and I there was a minimum play rule, and that's the only reason I played.
Colby Martel.
I always asked the coach, I was like, come on, we're winning, can I please go in? And I was like, okay, I'm done asking the coach for playing time, I'm just gonna earn it. Then I like worked really hard. I was friends with the quarterback, and I was like, I'm gonna be a wide receiver. So then
what was your like college process? Did you want to go to Babson? Like, what were your top 3? Like, yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, I had a project where we were supposed to do college research as a junior, and I knew I was going to college, but I really was not eager to apply anywhere, which is not okay. So I just did not put a lot of effort into that. I kind of just found random schools and did my research on that. It wasn't really guided towards what I wanted to do, because whenever anyone asked me what I want to do, I had no idea. I knew my passions for like being a video director, or I never thought YouTube, but just something with media. But I did not know what college to go to. But then I just was like, okay, I'm probably gonna do something in the marketing or business fields at this point, so I'll just go to a broad business school. And then Babson just stood out because of one particular thing: no school on Fridays. No, honestly, when I toured and I heard that, I was like, okay, I have to get in. And then I just saw like all the new facilities that they had because of their centennial year, and then just it being a small campus. I come from a school of like 2,000 people. This is like 3,000. It would be a pretty easy transition in that regard. I was prominent with the student council then, so I could probably do something similar here and make an impact and not just be another person walking around at 70,000 people school. And I just thought that they offered a lot of financial aid for me as well. It's because of some very generous donors. So I was just, the whole package was there. A very diverse school. I really appreciate that. It's so cool to meet new people every single week and learn about their experiences. And yeah, for those reasons, I'm in.
All right, let me be a college counselor, a griller. What was your SAT?
My SAT score was irrelevant at this school, I feel, because I feel like they didn't even check anymore. But it was a 15-20, and I worked really hard on that. I was like so happy with how.
4 hours?
No, like overtime.
Yeah. Of course.
Just because I thought it was like really cool to have a standardized test that everyone could take, and I know it's not the primary factor that people are going to be judged by, but I just thought it was so cool that we could all be judged in like a standard way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, I don't know. The way I see it, I was very competitive about like standardized testing. Like I took the SAT 4 times. The first time I got like an 1140, then the second time I got 1210, and then my last one I got 1310. But by the time I got a 1310, I had went to nationals in like 4 different business competitions. That year that I applied to college, I was on the Texas school board as like the VP, and then I had also like became an All-American that summer in track. And then like I had like a 30 on my ACT, which was like far better than what like my 1310 was. I don't know. Like, moral of the story is like, if you're trying to go to college, like pick one. Like my little sister's probably gonna watch this. Like she's a junior right now at a performing arts high school. She's on the whole opposite tangent of what I'm doing. Like she's a whole dancer. Like we're at a Broadway play for Thanksgiving. Shout out to my little sister. You're gonna do it, Bowman. I love you. But like the thing is, like if you want to do something, especially like standardized testing or like even like college, like you have to like work towards it. Like no one's just gonna be like, oh yeah, you can go to the school. Fuck your like test scores. Like there are things that you have in place that make you stand out. Like Colby wanted to go to a business school. We had been editing videos and doing media since he was in elementary. So it made sense. Like, follow your dreams. Do what makes you happy. Like, working 40 hours a week and not being happy is not fun. You should ask Jean-Michel Basquiat how that turned out for him. You should try to be happy. There's no point in being successful and getting money if you aren't going to be happy. So speaking of getting money, Colby, here we are, 22 years later at Babson, right? Like, so along the lines of you coming to Babson, what are you going to major in? What classes have been most influential in your journey and inspiring your next steps in your career? And how do you feel about the current state of Babson and what you expected coming in versus how it is right now, Because I feel for me, quick side note, I came from a magnet high school, right? So I applied to Babson, USC. Only college I didn't get into was Emory. I don't know why I didn't get into Emory. I got into USC, I got into Claremont McKenna, and I got into Babson and U Miami. How did I not get into Emory? I don't know, bro. They didn't want me. You know why they didn't want me. But bro, I didn't get into the school. So I was whatever, my top three, similar to you, there were no business classes on Friday. And because I was a track and field athlete, I wasn't running crazy D1 times either. These were my high school times. I was mid, low key, and I was from Texas, bro. Those boys, they're men. They're men. They're all left guards, getting inside of the blocks, trying to run you down. Why are you so big, bro? Get off the track. Get off the track. The field is right there. What are you doing? Boys coming from football practice to come run on my relay, and they're going to win by a lot. Yeah, bro, it was crazy, but it was a choice of running and not running. So it was Babson, UMich, Miami, and Claremont McKenna. Being from Texas, I wanted warm weather, but I was like Colby said earlier about, being uncomfortable, doing things that you've not done, and working towards getting rid of your insecurities. I was comfortable around black people, said frankly. I had never grew up around people who didn't look like me. So I was comfortable around, being around people like me. So coming to Boston, coming to Wellesley, it was a totally different thing. I was going to run track so that I could keep my daily schedule. And then boom, here I am now studying accounting. I did a couple internships at PwC. I worked really hard in class, like you said. I stayed uncomfortable. I made friends. I embraced the diversity around me. And now I have a full-time job offer at PwC in New York City. And I don't have debt either. There's a way. You just got to do it. So yeah, Colby, where are you at right now? What are you going to major in? What are you going to do with it? It's a crazy world, man.
I'm not going to do anything in particular with my degree, but that doesn't mean that the education, huh?
What are you going to get in? Are you going to concentrate?
No. I'm graduating next semester. I tell people I'm concentrating in entrepreneurship and marketing, but
I saw it on your website. That's why I asked you this question.
I didn't actually declare concentration. I just tell people, because that's what I'm focused on, entrepreneurship and marketing. Those are the two categories that being a YouTuber falls into. So I've taken classes that align with that, but maybe they didn't quite meet the concentration requirements, but I don't really care. I'm not going to actually use my degree to apply for any jobs because I already have something that I really want to pursue and grow. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to use my education that I did get, especially this semester. I had some really great classes. I like to rank my classes from most valuable to least. And 3 of my top 5 happened this semester. So I'm so fortunate for that. Yeah.
Okay. Who's number 1?
Len Green's number 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely for me and my team. Super hard, but a lot of creativity goes into it, and it really pushes you to be a better entrepreneur. So could talk forever about that class. I don't know exactly my number 2, but 2 of my other top 5 that I'm taking right now are LTA class is Utopia Dystopia with Weston Miller. Very interesting to explore different types of societies where people try to enhance them, but it ends up having side effects, which is pretty cool. And then also Ideate is another course where I got to create 100 business ideas and pitch them to my classmates, which I thought was really relevant and exciting, but also rigorous too. It was very challenging. So those are 2 of the 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that taking like relevant courses is very important, and it's not really about like what you study, but like how you use it. Like you can run cross country, but does that mean you're going to go pro? No, it just means you're going to implement like the hard work and team building skills you learned. So, and I think that brings us to our first food for thought. Don't stay in places that will not inspire you. I think in the way that you kind of transition out of like one sport to another for the betterment and like those around you and it taught you new things. It's like the kind of the way you can look at like going to a place like Babson. Like it may not be like the funnest school in the school book, but like it'll get you there. Track season's coming. Yeah. Run cross country, like Colby said. I think that, you know, us being young, maybe you're young, maybe you're old. I don't know. Are you old, Colby? You're 23? 22? Would you consider yourself old? Taylor Swift's 22. She's on like $1 billion tour.
She's 30.
Okay, Taylor Swift's 33 and she didn't run cross country, but she's still successful, you know? So basically, you know, always go in an environment where you're inspired, where you feel motivated, and don't stay in environments that are not good for you. We're young, our mental health is very fragile. Running helps you clear your mind, get a routine, get a schedule. It's not an ironic thing that people like us who play sports were like good at managing time, setting aside time like this to film videos in the middle of it's finals season, right, Colby? How are your finals going? Let's get to reality, right? So you ran cross country, stopped running cross country, made a 100-minute documentary further in cross country. So I would say, how was your life after high school? Like you graduated 2020, right? So you were a COVID baby. Same. How was that?
It was a good excuse for me not to be pressured into making a lot of friends.
Okay.
Because I was also scared about coming to a school where I didn't know anyone. And again, as a shy person, I would have to branch out, make friends. Everyone was doing that, but I would just be like, oh, it's COVID, we're supposed to be in our room. So I'd be like, everyone wouldn't give me any pressure to make friends, so I was kind of chilling, and I ended up joining some organized activities like student government that helped me meet Mari and a few other people. So without that, I would be totally screwed. But that's kind of how my life has been. Is I'm never just going to go up to random people, which is ironic to say given my YouTube channel. But again, that's what the purpose of making a video with them. Everything has to be pretty organized for me.
Right. So, I mean, you just brought the cat out of the bag. Speaking of YouTube channel and asking people questions, I saw that one of your most popular videos likes to ask students, do they sleep? So my question to you is, Colby, do you sleep? And if you do sleep, then when? What's like your day-to-day? What's like a day in the life of Colby Martel?
Well, I just finished school, so I'm sleeping an excessive amount at this point. However, during the academic year, I was not practicing healthy habits. And it's not a flex. Some people like to be like, oh, I only got 2 hours of sleep. And then if you're like, well, how do you do that? You're like, wow. But no, it's just not healthy. So I would never recommend. But I did something really crazy, which happens to be my biggest regret in college, not because I did it, but because I didn't film it, is I was in an entrepreneurship class, Len Green's Ultimate Challenge.
Yeah.
It was the best course I've ever taken, but the final was very rigorous, and it required back-to-back all-nighters from me. Whoa. So I stayed up for 64 hours straight to complete the final, and I was not even tired. Like I was just driven the whole time to do my best, and it was so exciting. Wow. And I just wish I vlogged it too, because it would have been so cool to share with people. Because everyone's like, "How did you do that? Why did you do that? That's so stupid." But I was like, it was necessary, and I wanted to do it too. Like there were some people that did sleep, or you could have just done it during Thanksgiving break as well. I just didn't do it. I slept a lot during Thanksgiving break, but no, it was really fun.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting cornerstone. Like, taking one class at Babson can force you to stay up 64 hours. A lot of people don't even spend 64 hours in one semester on a class. So, I think that speaks to the magnitude of work that we're doing here at Babson. I guess if you have never heard of Babson, this pristine private college nestled in the middle of Wellesley, Massachusetts, and 40 million trees, is supposed to be the nation's best entrepreneurship school for the last 30 years, 31? I don't know. According to U.S. News World Report, peep the stat, I'm not lying. It's also a very good school for international students, so
Why'd you point at me?
I was pointing at the globe that they can't see. Yeah, there's a globe. Yeah, that's the globe. It's not Colby. He's probably international once upon a time. Yo, you heard the 23andMe got hacked? The big DNA, bro. Bro, Babson College is a globally diverse school, right? Don't let me get off the 23andMe tangent, bro. I'm gonna get on that later. That shit is crazy, bro. I was literally gonna buy it for Black Friday. I was like, oh, I'm a broke college student. Like, it's a $23 like DNA test. I can learn about all my ancestry, like for the low. And they had like a data breach. That's why you go to places like Babson. They teach you not to get data breaches because we're like the #1 entrepreneurship school, and they force us to take classes that make us do 64 hours worth of work. And then you end up meeting people like Colby, and Colby owns a YouTube channel, and the channel has 400,000 subscribers, and he's like a really hard-working guy. But then he's taking classes like the Lane Green's class, which are full of really hard-working guys. Like, I could go down a list of people who took Lane Green's Ultimate Entrepreneurship Challenge, but, you know, here's this article right here. And I remember reading this article about how, like, this class here was the reason a lot of people came to Babson. My friend Jonathan DeMonica, bro, look, Jonathan was at, so Jonathan, he was in E-Tower. I was in E-Tower once upon a time, and that's how I met Lane Green. E-Tower is like a premier, like, entrepreneur community here, where people who are students who want to run businesses kind of go after it. And that was where, you know, myself, that's where I found my passion for, I guess, creating content and, like, trying to voice my story. Like, in the same way that, like, you felt motivated during your 64-hour, like, marathon, I feel the same way about, like, I don't know. I would say, like, I feel that same way about certain, like, aspects of my life, like accounting. Like, I have, like, the hardest major you could take as a business major. But, like, I find joy in that it's so hard. Because it's like, ooh, shit, I'm working hard right now. Like, I'm doing a puzzle. Nobody else wants to take the CPA exam. I'm trying to pass it in, like, 7 months. So I think there's, like, a different level of ambition that comes with being, like, a Babson student. Food for thought. Don't go to a place that won't fulfill your ambitions. You should try to run cross country. Food for thought. So, you know, Colby, going back to, like, you know, your current, like, YouTube journey, when did you realize, like, all right, I was once a very shelled, shy, hide behind my mom at the bachelorette party kind of kid, but now I'm a YouTuber. I think I could do it. When did you have that, like, hoorah moment? And how do you think other people can, like, find their own talents and hoorah moments, knowing that they have, like, personal limitations, you know? Because I feel like you overcame yours pretty fucking well, you know? 400,000 subscribers, millions of views later. Colby Martel, everyone.
Yeah. First of all, I never went to a bachelorette party, but it was just like birthday parties.
Yo,
but anyway.
64 hours straight, you could do well.
Oh, I guess I don't know what
it was. It was a wedding, right?
Huh?
It was a wedding?
No, that was another thing. No, that was recent. But no, when I was young, I would hide behind my mom at any party. But anyway, off topic. Yeah, so I guess my limitation was just having very severe anxiety. Yeah, just like I would be too anxious to fail or be wrong or talk to anyone that I didn't recognize already. So it was really tough for me to make friends unless I was forced to. And then just in general, doing the YouTube thing just inspired me to branch out of that because I saw value beyond my insecurity. And even though so many people could value from what I'm just too scared to do. So I was like, I need to get over that. I can control this. It just takes some discomfort. Yeah. So it's definitely not an excuse not to try something. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people suffer from worse limitations than myself, but so I'm not going to be able to understand every situation. At least from the cards I've been dealt, I'm very grateful in so many other ways, but that one thing makes a lot of people shocked that I'm able to do what I'm doing. But I still didn't want to use that as an excuse not to try. And my first time filming, I just paced around for 3 hours and went home with no footage because I was just, it's so easy for me to get super excited about a concept, but then when you actually have to execute it, a lot of people fall short. And I see that happen all the time. Anyone can dream big, but to actually do it requires discomfort a lot of the times, and a lot of people aren't willing to put that in. So I was not willing to put that in at first, and then I had time to reflect on that and realized just forecasting where I would be in a few years if I didn't do this, and I had no idea. I still don't know where I'm going to be in 2 years, but at least I know that I'm on a good path.
That's true. That's true. I think we just really have to unwrap this food for thought here, because for one, I'm hungry, and for two, he's spitting. For those of you in the back who didn't catch it, I said it was food for thought. You know, I like what you said about how, like, in this life, when you have an insecurity, you can't use it as an excuse to not chase your goals. And, like, the whole comfort zone thing, I think that's very true. I think for me, my biggest comfort zone, like, what would you call it? Epiphany. My comfort zone epiphany was moving here. Like, coming from Texas, being the only, like, person of color in most of my classes, I was like, whoa, this is wild. I do not belong here. And so a lot of times you face things like imposter syndrome in the classroom. You don't want to talk to people. In the same way that you'll get nervous trying to talk to somebody for an interview, and it'll end up resulting in you pacing around for 3 hours. But I think it's less about, like, what you said, like, the big idea about where you want to go and the things you want to do, and more about, like, executing it. Because, like, I don't know, even you watching this, you probably have goals and ambitions to get into schools like Babson, but you're going to go turn this video off and not go study. So you're not going to get into some shit like this. So why are you going to watch this if you're not going to take real action? What are we doing? What are we doing? So that brings me to my next point, Colby. You know, like, along the lines of, like, taking action, what do you think is your biggest, like, inspiration? Because, you know, things get rough. Standing up for 64 hours straight is kind of hard. And, like, I feel like a lot of people who are successful, they're grounded by a lot of things. One of my biggest creative inspirations as of recently is this man named Jean-Michel Basquiat. He's an artist. Probably, you guys have probably heard of Basquiat, or at least, like, seen his, like, wild, like, artistic style. But what inspires me about him, or what was so interesting? Oh, I lost my food for thought.
Look at your food for thought.
We can't do this without food for thought. We cannot do this without food for thought. And I don't think I can do this without Jean-Michel Basquiat either. Or inspiration for that matter. But, I mean, yeah, like I was saying before I lost my food for thought. Bro, like, Basquiat died at 27. Like, he was a young guy. And, like, for me, that was scary. I found out about him, like, I mean, I always knew who Basquiat was. But, like, I renowned him as my inspiration, not just because, like, he was a black man who became young and successful, but because, like, he did it so fast. Like, he graduated high school at 18, started doing graffiti in New York City with this man who I actually DM'd recently. Yo, if I get him on this podcast on a Monday, that'd be crazy. His name's Albert Diaz. So, Jean-Michel Basquiat's story, quick, like, you know, side path. You guys should check him out. He's very wild. And you guys should also find some inspiration. Like, history is real. Are you a history junkie, Colby? No? Babson has turned me into a history junkie. It's a liberal arts class, bro. It's a rabbit hole. But, bro, like, they started doing graffiti in New York City to kind of, push back against society at the time. They called the graffiti stuff same old, which meant same old shit. And so with same old, they kind of pushed back against society. They put all of their views out there on graffiti. And a lot of the art caught the attention of the local media and the side of, like, Lower East Side. And with that, they kind of rose to this, like, level where it was like, okay, like, you know, we're doing it. And the thing was, Albert Diaz and Basquiat, like, Basquiat wanted the fame, like, he wanted the ambience, and Albert Diaz wanted to be anonymous and just, like, construe the public. And so that separation in opinion created, like, this divide where it was like, all right, Basquiat's like, if I want to grow as an artist and really, like, you know, fulfill my craft, I have to, like, go off on this tangent by myself and just do it. And, like you said, like, he had the goal, but he also executed. So, like, in the documentary I watched on YouTube, it talked about how, like, he did a lot of artistic working, he did a lot of networking, he was young and ambitious. And in the same way, I saw myself in that. I was like, whoa, this is scary. Like, an artistic or, like, a well-articulate guy who can get what he wants by talking to people, who got to New York City, which is where I'm going, really fast, but died early just because. And I was like, what? Why did he die? Apparently he, like, overdosed on, like, drugs. But, like, moral of the story, like, he set the goals, he did what he had to do, but, like, along the way he wasn't happy. Like, he wasn't really inspired by anything. He didn't really do it with anybody. Like, so I feel like he kind of went out in, like, a very sad way. And, like, my inspiration from that was like, yeah, it's cool to make it and be an amount of success, but, like, what success doesn't matter if it's just, like, no happiness attached to it. So, like, that was my inspiration to kind of look at, like, whoa, what am I really doing? So, Colby, who's, like, your inspiration?
I was gonna say something really cringe.
Start there.
No, I was gonna say, no, it's very cliche, but some people say, like, your biggest inspirations are your younger self and your older self.
Ooh.
Just like you don't want to disappoint your younger self or your older self.
What did you look like as a kid, Colby?
Huh? What I look like? We need to put up a photo.
Yeah.
And we'll put up a photo right here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I was a little chubby. I don't know. That's pretty much all. I don't look like you would not be able to tell. Oh yeah, that's Colby. I don't think. Yeah, I don't look like myself.
But you were like a left guard. I feel like I could notice a left guard.
I'm not. Well, we were. Yeah, I wasn't a starting left guard, to be clear.
Oh wow. Okay.
But anyway, who's my biggest inspiration? It's funny. A lot of my inspirations are people who dropped out of college. Not that I would recommend, but I respect people that go all in on what they care about. Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, Eric, they're all, Michelle Correa, actually, she graduated from Dartmouth. Shout out, Michelle. Big respect, I got to meet her. These are all YouTubers that are very consistent and growing really fast.
Mr. Beast is doing crazy work in the world.
Yeah, I'm just really impressed with what they've been able to do with the platform that not many people thought was a real career. And then obviously that inspired me every single day to work towards that and be able to reach a lot of people in a positive way and then make a career for myself.
I think that taking like relevant courses is very important, and it's not really about like what you study, but like how you use it. Like you can run cross country, but does that mean you're going to go pro? No, it just means you're going to implement like the hard work and team building skills you learned. So I appreciate you, Colby. I think we learned a lot from you, and I think that like along the lines of this being like a Marre Monday podcast, like we all have our different journeys. Like I'm taking my degree and I'm actually going to work. He's taking his degree and is going to build his own skill. So I think that we all have our own different walks of journeys, but it's less about where you start and about what you do to get where you want to go, staying consistent, being uncomfortable, challenging yourself, and things like that. So I definitely thank you. What else would you like to say, Colby? I feel like you always have great wisdom for the people.
I have one last food for thought.
Oh, food for thought.
And that is to subscribe to Marre for Monday motivation.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and until the next Monday. To the next Monday. Keep getting money, baby. Y'all be safe.